I'm Nikki Haley, and I will be voting
for a convicted criminal.
Trump picked up a bigly endorsement this afternoon from one of his most bitter opponents.
March, but she refused to cave to the MAGA mob and did not bend the knee to Donald Trump. She stayed strong until yesterday when Haley said she's voting for Trump in November.
Nikki Haley is voting for Donald Trump. After all the sweet nothings they've exchanged, why not? She once called him dangerous and unstable, saying, "I feel no need to kiss the ring." And in return, Humpty Trumpty dubbed her Bird Brain. Love is in the air now.
Bird Brain. Nikki Bird Brain.
he's just toxic.
But Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert have given them both a masterclass in hypocrisy. It seems the reason in the Republican Party is as rare as a unicorn at a dog show. You can almost hear the campaign trail serenade. I love you, you love me, we're a happy GOP. Looks like they've swapped their insults for friendship bracelets. Maybe they'll start a new reality show, The Odd Couple 2.0, Trump and Haley edition.
So I will be voting for Trump.
Oh, she really is a bird brain. He was right.
Still, it's hard to believe Haley said she'd be voting for Dumpy Trumpy, given what he said about her. Back when they were competing in the Republican presidential primary, Trump made mocking comments questioning the whereabouts of her husband, Michael Haley, who was deployed with the United States Africa Command, to which Haley replied, "If you mock the service of a combat veteran, you don't deserve a driver's license, let alone being president of the United States." And now she is voting for him. Politics sure makes for strange bedfellows, huh? It's like saying, "I wouldn't trust you to drive me to the grocery store, but here, take the wheel of the country."
Donald Trump's not watching out for the Republican Party. He's not watching out for America. He's watching out for himself.
After bashing each other like enemies, they are now in for some collaboration. Donald Trump suggested that Nikki Haley would have a place on his team in some form. It's like watching a sitcom where the grumpy neighbors decide to start a band together. Can't wait to see them harmonize their conflicting views, but Jimmy won't waste an opportunity to teach these flip-floppers a lesson.
We can't win if Donald Trump is the nominee. I will say this until my last breath.
Well, I guess it must be her last breath then. I don't know.
But if you think Nikki Haley and Trump would escape the wrath of Stephen Colbert, you might be living in a fool's paradise. When Stephen heard that Nikki Haley would be voting for Donald Plump, he thought to send some comedic missiles on her way. And boy, oh boy, did he give us some belly laughs.
She folded like a paper plate on chili night.
Well, it seems like Nikki Haley and Trump are serving up a political comedy special, complete with insults and flip-flopping. I mean, who would do a better job at the White House, Donald Plump or Biden? Come on, Nikki, why would you cozy up to someone who called you a bird brain? And let's not forget Haley's expert analysis of Trump's mental fitness. She questioned whether he was fit for office, calling him unhinged and more diminished. But hey, in this political circus, anything goes. Maybe they're just trying to keep up with the Kardashians of Capitol Hill. Who knew politics could be this entertaining? It's like a sitcom where the punchlines are policies and the laugh track is the sound of democracy crumbling.
That is the energy of a woman whose husband just asked, "Honey, do you think I can wear the jean jacket with my jeans?"
You all know that Haley stopping her campaign made Trump the likely Republican pick against Biden. But thanks for the laughs, Trumpy-Haley duo. But what about the MAGAs? Any discussion about this would be incomplete without them, especially considering Haley got hit hard by MAGA trolls in January. The MAGA Trump campaign poured millions into TV ads attacking Haley. Now they seem to be buddies, and Trump wants to include her in his team. But what's this, hypocrisy? Is this the mindset to do politics and run a country? If you remember, Trump's campaign began airing TV ads against Haley in New Hampshire. They claimed that Haley opposed Trump's proposed wall along the southern border. Additionally, its allied super PAC, MAGA Inc., ran a separate commercial in the state accusing Haley of supporting a gas tax increase during her tenure as South Carolina governor. Haley said this mischaracterizes her record, and you will be shocked to know that the two outfits spent a combined $4.5 million on anti-Haley commercials. It seems they're not just running for office, they're also competing for the biggest clown award in politics.
Does anybody know who Bird Brain is?
If you mock the service of a combat veteran, you don't deserve a driver's license, let alone being president of the United States.
Now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He is mentally unfit to hold office. 25th Amendment.
I mean, spending millions to make the common man think they're fools? Talk about a twisted sense of humor. Maybe they should consider a career in stand-up comedy instead of politics. At least then they'd be honest about trying to make us laugh. When you compare Democrats to the antics of Haley and Trump, it's like comparing a well-organized circus to a chaotic clown car. Sure, you can criticize the Democrats for their policies, but believe me, that's a party that stands on stable ground, unlike the Haley and Trump circus. Let's take a closer look at the differences. Democrats may have their flaws, but at least they're not spending millions on attack ads against each other. It's like watching a poker game where one player keeps bluffing while the other keeps folding, and in this case, the voters are the ones losing out on a fair deal. While Democrats may squabble over policies, they don't resort to name-calling and petty insults. It's like comparing a civil debate to a playground brawl. Sure, there may be disagreements, but at least they're conducted with dignity and respect. And let's talk about stability. Democrats may have their internal disagreements, but they don't flip-flop on their principles every other day. It's like trying to build a house on shifting sand versus a solid foundation of bedrock. Who would you trust to weather the storm? Watching Haley and Trump go at it is like witnessing a comedy sketch with too many punchlines, and as for the Democrats, well, they may not always see eye to eye, but at least they're not trying to outdo each other in the ridiculousness department. It's like comparing a family dinner to a food fight.
Nikki Haley says she's voting for Donald Trump, and after all the nice things they said about each other, why not? The 25th is the amendment many of his fellow Republicans thought about using against him. That's how he knows it.
Sure, there may be some messiness, but at least everyone's working towards a common goal. When it comes to choosing who should lead the country, it's clear that Democrats offer a more stable and sensible option. As for Haley and Trump, well, they might want to consider a career change. I hear the circus is always looking for new acts. People like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert might make jokes, but there's often a hidden meaning behind their humor. Politics, on the other hand, is about maturity. So ask yourself, do Trump and Haley reflect maturity or the lack of it? Let's break it down. Trump's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic wreaked havoc on our economy, forcing policies that resulted in strained ties with many European countries. His America First approach led to a breakdown in transatlantic relations. And let's not forget his cozy relationship with leaders like Kim Jong-un of North Korea and Putin of Russia. It's like he's collecting autographs from dictators. Now, if we're talking maturity, these actions don't exactly scream adulting. It's like watching a toddler play with matches. Sure, it might seem entertaining at first, but eventually someone's gonna get burned. So maybe it's time for a change. Maybe it's time to vote for someone who can restore stability and credibility on the world stage. Someone like Biden, who promises to mend broken alliances and lead with dignity and diplomacy. In the end, it's up to us, the voters, to decide.
Fresh off winning Haley's vote, Trump did an interview with a right-wing radio show. Trump spent 20 minutes rambling a bunch of nonsense, including the idea that Biden might drop out of the race.
Do we want to continue down this chaotic path, or do we want to steer towards a brighter, more mature future? The choice is ours, and if we want to raise awareness and shed light on the antics of figures like Haley and Trump, we need to stay informed and engaged. So hit that subscribe button, like our videos, and share our channel with others. Together we can expose the nonsense and hold those in power accountable.